How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin is mooning. Let's call it mooning. If you look at this chart, look at that. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful chart there, moving quicker and quicker up and to the right. Why is this happening? Well, let's talk about that. I think there's one obvious reason. We have some big buyers as well of Bitcoin here today, and we absolutely know that someone is going to be buying very heavily very soon. It's someone that said they're going to buy a certain amount on basically at certain time frames, and yeah, it's coming up here very soon. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see future videos just like this as soon as I make them. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to MargeX and to CoinW as well, where you can trade cryptocurrencies, you can trade Bitcoin, you can trade Solana, you can trade Ethereum, you can trade meme coins, and by using these links, you actually get some free airdrop. So you get free money, thousands of dollars possibly, just for doing the stuff that you'd already do. So using those links with the codes and hitting the join now button, it's all obvious in the description. You can start getting some of that free money. Now look at this. Bitcoin going from 53,500 all the way up to 62,400, a nice almost 20% gain, maybe 16, 18% gain here over the last 10 days. And as I covered in yesterday's video, part of this is from Donald Trump being shot. A lot of people rightfully think that he will probably win the election now, and the reason I say rightfully is because the prediction market is showing that he is very likely to win the election, and he's very pro-Bitcoin, so that sent up Bitcoin's price. Now what we're seeing, though, short liquidations. This came out, what was this, earlier today. 360 million in Bitcoin short liquidations will happen when Bitcoin's at $62,000. Now, we're at 62,000. Now, to be clear, some people cover before they're actually liquidated, so it doesn't show that here. Like in the last 24 hours, you can see $95 million worth of shorts being liquidated in the crypto market. But you have to remember, some of these people close or they have stop losses, right? They're not all completely liquidated. They probably don't show up on this heat map on CoinGlass. You have to remember, whatever number you see here, it's probably much more than that of the people that are closing positions. So yeah, there were a lot of liquidations, and it's pretty obvious. Like if you see a chart like this where it starts to go up, but then you see it go faster and faster, or the opposite too, like here where you started to see it happen and then it got faster and faster and faster and then just tumbled down. That most likely happens because of liquidation. Some people going long or short and being a little bit too aggressive. But how does that happen? Well, there are obviously buyers that come in. And as you can see here, Mr. 100 bought another 405 Bitcoin. Making the bears hurt here today. And this is after yesterday buying 100. This is after the day before that buying 200. This is after the day before that buying 400. The day before that buying 300. The day before that continuously buying day after day after day after day. And it seems like it doesn't matter. You know, people are like, why? It doesn't matter if he buys. It doesn't matter if the ETFs buy because the price isn't going up. But eventually it matters, right? It always matters. It just is always balancing out the selling and the buying and what price they're willing to do it at. Don't forget, though, we do have another big buyer here soon, Tether. They have not bought their Q2 purchase of Bitcoin yet. The last two purchases were actually on the last day of the quarter. They bought 8,888.88 Bitcoin. I would not be surprised to see them buy something around this level again. So when they bought on 3/31, this was when Bitcoin was at 70,000. The time before that, they bought when Bitcoin was at 42,000. So they actually paid a significantly different price. They paid 380 million versus 627. And maybe part of that is that they don't want to continue buying too far in this bull market, but they've given no indication that's the case. The time before that, the quarter before that, they bought $68 million worth. The quarter before that, they bought about $10 million worth. But if we look at how much money they make, let's just pull up, and we can pretty easily tell how much money they're making. So the market cap of Tether is 112.5 billion. Let's just pull this and see what the average was for the last quarter. So over the last quarter, it's been pretty high the entire quarter. Let's call it 110 billion. 110 billion times 20% for, let's say 80%. They keep 20% in reserves that don't go to short-term treasuries. And then they get 5%. They're making around $4.4 billion a year. They're making $1.1 billion each quarter. Okay, so last quarter they spent about half of that, a little over half of that, on buying Bitcoin. When you account for expenses, maybe they spent like 80% or something of their profits. Now they can spend significantly less than this, but they can still buy 8,888.88 Bitcoin because, rates haven't come down. So we know that there's another big buyer. There should be another big buyer any day now. Who knows? Maybe they don't do it, but there are other buyers out there that are thinking the same thing. Like, hey, we have profits. We need somewhere to put them. Even people, right? A lot of people pay quarterly taxes, especially once you start making a lot of money. So they're getting their reports back. Hey, I had a pretty good quarter. Maybe I should buy something to hedge a little bit. Something that's still high potential. Bitcoin. What's good in lower rate environments? Bitcoin. What's a good thing to be buying right now with liquidity increasing? Bitcoin. What's a good thing to be buying right now that institutions are starting to buy? Bitcoin, etc., etc., etc. So just a friendly reminder, and this is actually new as of today. The Bitcoin conference said, "We are happy to report that Donald Trump is committed to delivering the speech in person at Bitcoin 2024. I know some people were talking about whether he was even going to be there or if he was just going to like telephone in or video conference in. But yeah, he's going to be at Bitcoin 2024. I would not be surprised if he came away with some big donations, tens of millions of dollars or more maybe after this conference. But if you do want to get a ticket to this conference, you can use the link underneath the video because you get an extra 10% off with that link. Or you can get 21% off by using Bitcoin, by paying in Bitcoin. I believe you can stack these two. I could be wrong, but definitely check it out. Try it out down below. But let's take a look here. Obviously, Bitcoin's price is up, liquidating a lot of shorts. The whole crypto market looks pretty juicy right now with Solana over 152, Ethereum well over 3,300. XRP up 26% on the last 7 days. Yeah, a lot of cryptos are doing pretty well today. But of course, always be ready. We could always see more down. We could always see more red. But personally, I think we're done. I said this at 55,000. I think that was a bottom for a number of reasons. But one of the big reasons is Germany just ran out of Bitcoin and they were selling 50,000 Bitcoin. They sold 42,000 Bitcoin in a week. And it was pretty obvious to tell that that was what was driving down the market. Now we're turning and it's looking quite bullish. So it will be interesting to see how much the ETFs buy. It's interesting to see what kind of news comes out tomorrow, especially because like last week and this week are the first full weeks back from the 4th of July. So we're going to start getting more and more news. Big earnings come out this week, especially the week after as well. So it will be a fun week. If you want to check out the links underneath the video to Margex, to CoinW, and start trading, check them out. There's also the link to WEEX if you want to try out that exchange. And there's a link to the Bitcoin conference as well to get some free tickets, not some free tickets, to get some discounted tickets. Thank you so much. If you want those tickets, I'd probably get them now because who knows, the conference might sell out after the craziness of yesterday. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.